Welcome to Project Bennett, and we can't wait to show you this sophisticated, elegant transformation of a home. So this particular client had wonderful, elevated, sophisticated style and taste. And one of the things I picked out of her inspo shots was high contrast. And here's a fun fact. She loved the ideas of blacks and whites. But where do you put the black? Where do you put the white? And how do you emulate that sophisticated style? Well, here's a fun fact. We actually have more than one shade of black in this area. Where do you put the black? Well, we put it on the hood. It was going to be a focal feature for this kitchen. In the dining room, there was a molded wall, which we used a shade of black on, which absolutely interacted with the light coming in that space. That's different from the black wall that we used on the shiplap in the living room and the cabinets over here in the kitchen. So a common mistake a lot of people make is they say, I like high contrast. And to create that, they throw a whole bunch of black and white into a space. Well, the space ends up reading a bit checkerboardy and often can fall flat. So how do you create a high contrast space that's going to work and feel elegant and sophisticated? Well, the countertops we used actually aren't white, they're cream, and they have brown running through them. And so actually the black and white elements in the space are balanced by the natural textures in the room and the color gold to warm up the space. Actually, probably 30% of this space is actually black and white. It's the other elements around it which help bring out that high contrast.
All right, so when a realtor comes and looks at a home or shows you a home, they're normally talking about square footage, and they always want it to be bigger. Whereas as designers, when we come into the home, sure, we look at the square footage of your home, but we're more interested in how could we better utilize the square footage that you already have. Now in this home, we could have added on, but we were able to flip where we had the kitchen, because most clients come to us with, I have a really small kitchen, it's so cramped, what can we do? And so because we were able to show them different areas that we could put the kitchen and still achieve all of the elements they wanted within their home, we were able to save a lot of time and budget by not having to add on square footage. If you can believe it, this main level is only 690 square feet, and yet it feels double the size. So when we were originally meeting with them in this small cramped kitchen, which is now the dining room, we actually were able to show them that there were 3 other options of where we could put their kitchen, their living room, and their dining room. And they obviously landed on one, which we think is fantastic because it gave them their formal dining room, which most people would probably scratch off the list with that square footage, a beautiful kitchen, still with the island, and the centered hood range, which is a huge focal point. And then they also were still able to have a breakfast eating area and a casual family space. And so we love the layout and the style of this home, and we don't want you to be afraid or discouraged just because you may have small square footage. It's amazing what you can do if you just rework the floor plan.